Morning, guys. So the little kitten was already in here, and this out of the way to begin with. Okay, I'm going to show you my bowling ball. It was for my name's Steve, AMF, and see, I had a little part here. I can't really think of where to put it. Try to get everything all situated and lined up. I'm going to do it so you guys can see it, I think. So it's kind of a bonus for you guys to be able to see it. All right. Take a couple pins. But I made this jeweler's vise. I bought this one for $14. It was a hand vise. I drilled it and epoxied it together so it's not going to come apart, and then epoxied it down inside of the thumb hole, because the thumb hole was drilled in the very center. So when I have it up on the top, I'll be able to show you here in a minute. But I also want to cut the bowling ball in half and then put another Lazy Susan, but a different company, so it fits perfectly inside, and then I can pivot it. That way I'll be able to pivot this around and then be able to pivot this also. Just want to show you. There we go. We got the jeweler's vise, and the bowling ball works fantastic for this. It spins really nice and easy. That way I'll be able to move it around, and I'll be able to do my scroll engraving, and everything will be lined up that way. I got my pedal so I can control the speed. I was going to make the hand piece. Let's see if I can back this guy up. It's a 16-pounder. That's the size ball I would roll. I'd take the biggest ball and get my hands on, which is a 16-pound, and throw it. Sometimes loft it through the ceiling. So they were always real excited to see when I would walk in the door at a bowling alley. So that was fun. There we go. Put that to the back. The team even got me a magnifying glass, which kind of hurts my eyes, so I don't use it on modeling at all. And also the magnifying deal back there. But with the engraver, I was going to make the hand piece off of YouTube. It shows how to go about making the hand piece. I was going to turn all the parts on my lathe and make one. But when this became affordable on Amazon, I went ahead and just bought theirs when I had a chance to do that. And it works great off the system I made, which is a tire. My dad gave me a tire inflator that was in the shape of a tire. It was a real El Cheapo. I think it's around $11. And I worked on all the internal parts, turning the piston into a oscillating whatever. It turns it into a little jackhammer, which is exactly what you want. I run this unit then with the pedal off of my battery charger, and I've got absolutely no real money in any of it. And the only thing I'm really down to is shaping that little cutter to where it'll have a heel on it, where it'll dig in but not dig in too far when I do the engraving work. But I've had all this stuff. I just waxed the ball. It was all dusty. So I used my nice Carnauba cleaner wax and cleaned it up for this video because this is my 1 year that I've been here as a YouTuber. When I first started, about 3 weeks in, the subs, it was going off the charts, just absolutely through the roof as far as subs went. And then it hit a brick wall and stayed a brick wall for the last 11 months. So evidently I'm not a good modeler. So I'm going to work on maybe other things and change it from modeling and go in a whole different direction. Maybe engraving, but I haven't even engraved anything yet other than the trigger guard of my Bursa, and I didn't like how that turned out with the hammer and deal. So I wanted to go this route, but yeah, that was about 2 years ago when I made all that stuff and got it all done. But yeah, I'm gonna have to build a rig for the microscope to mount right above it. And it's got a nice big screen. And I've even got another TV. I can even put a TV in here and watch off of that as I scroll and grave, that kind of a deal. And I'm thinking about making this base down low so it sets up the right height of my, there we go, move you guys down just a skosh hair. And maybe, maybe get into a little bit of engraving work or, maybe some gunsmithing work or something like that. I'm not really sure. I don't know what I want to really do yet. The models don't seem to really be cutting it all that well. They were to begin with. It went through the roof, and then I have 140 videos, and some of them are kind of boring, like this one is. The 1 year mark, I really wanted to have something a little bit more in depth and detail, but I have so many other things going on and, behind the scenes and stuff that it doesn't have to be confined to just models. I build real chopper motorcycles that are just out of this world. They're amazing. And I haven't built one of them in, my goodness, I haven't built a chopper in 25 years. It's been a long time. But yeah, the older I get, the more I can't do what I used to do. I'm always ambitious, but the body's getting old now. And my lungs were never good to really begin with from the age of 2 on. So yeah. So I have that to show. And then I wanted to show the camera that I had to begin with, which was my red Samsung. I got that back in 06 and use it, and it was fantastic. And I would always keep it in its box. I guess I got to move this out of the way once again. I would always keep it in its box if I'm walking out, and you can tell the age. If I'm walking outside with it, it's protected by its styrofoam, and I'd always keep it in its box. That way it never got dropped. I think I did drop it once in this box going to where I was going to film whatever it was I was going to do. And this lasted me up until we moved in here, and that was 10 years ago. And it worked great. And then it would bleach everything out. Pretty much what this camera is doing now. So I had all the cords and everything for the other one. So I bought this one off of eBay, I think for $35. And it's worked for me for just about 10 years, going on 10 years. When I was walking out to do that last film, photo session of the dual truck and the orange car, I had those these things, and I had it on here, and I went down my stairs. Then as I got to the bottom, it slid, And I did not have it in the protective box like I always carried the other one. I carried the other one everywhere I ever went. You'll see that box in the background of my motorcycle shoots and everything. You will always see that box because I always carried it in it. This time I did not, and it ruined this camera. And now when I take pictures with this one, it does the same thing. It bleaches everything out, even though I'm not using the. It all looks good, and you click the button, and then it comes back as if it's just you can't see anything. So that one's done. So I'll have to wait probably another month yet before I even think about maybe getting another used one off of eBay. So with the models and all that, going to be pretty much put on hold, except for this camera. And this camera likes to do all sorts of crazy things like go out of focus or muffle my voice or whatever. It does a bunch of creepy things that only webcams can do. So, yeah, I would have to say that my picture taking of my models, that's going to have to pretty much come to a halt. But that's what I have for you guys. And I showed you this other stuff before. The diamond hones and everything to sharpen my cutter bit. I got another cutter bit in this. I keep it in the hole. It's a nice storage place. But it's a whole nother cutter bit. But yeah, they need to be sharpened the right way. And I'll be doing that with the hones. And you have to have the geometry right on your cutting board that I'm going to have to, put a hole in the center and put my bit in there. And then I'll run them on the hones the right way and get the right angle on them, because those are real expensive. Those start a good one that has the right angles and everything on it. The ones that I would want, those start at like $350. Well, I'm not into anything like that because number one, I don't have $1. So I'm going to make all my own stuff, and maybe I'll have the webcam along and show how I make all the tools and get everything done. But that's nice and solid. That is done really super good for what I needed. I may, like I said, cut it in half and then put another Lazy Susan in there. They're real cheap. This one was about the cheapest I could find, and it's really heavy duty. I don't need anything quite that big to go in between here. I need like a cheaper one. But that's where I'm at, guys. I'm going to show you that, and I think that was about it. The cameras and the engraving stuff, and I think that is just about all. Don't have nothing else really going on. I wish things were more spectacular for my 1-year anniversary, but that's really all there is. There we go. Okay, guys. Hope you have a super terrific Tuesday. And I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, the kitten's up against the door, and he's fighting the door. Okay. When I say hi, you wanting to get in there? Yeah, no. There we go, he's purring. There's Tammy's little kitty called Mubite, or Squirble. She calls them both of those things. And I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye-bye.